that important to them. This is a time when we need to come out and show what's important to us and show them that we want an education. We want our sons, our daughters, our cousins, nieces, and nephews to get the same education that we're receiving as well. So I think that, you know, it's hard right now, but we can make a change. This is a time when we can either take it badly and let things go south, or take it upon yourself and, you know, encourage your friends to get on board with making higher education a priority.
What stance is ASI taking on the fee increases, and how have they helped students understand what's going on?
What stance do you mean with the fee increase just happening to the university?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, ASI is separate from the university because we're an auxiliary, so we don't run on state funds. There's no taxpayer dollars that go into anything that ASI operates or offers as a student government. I mean, as students, I mean, we're all students, it hurts because we are getting that 30% increase just the same as every other student here on campus. We haven't taken an official stance as ASI as a whole. I mean, we haven't written a resolution or anything, but if you ask any student who's involved, they'll tell you, yeah, it's hitting my pocket just as hard as, you know, a student who isn't involved with ASI. What's the second part of your question?
How are you helping students understand what's going on?
Well, we actually drafted an FAQ just with parking information and, you know, general budget information, and we try and have these events like this. We have a cookout every month where we're out there. Students are, I mean, we're there available for students to ask any questions that they might have. If you go on our website, our emails are there. If you go up to our office, my business card has my cell phone number on it, and you can contact me whenever you want. I mean, we've tried a lot of different ways to communicate it. You know, it's looking like we're going to have to get a little bit more creative, and if you have any ideas, please let us know. You know, we can only contact so many students through events and through emails, but a lot of times those either fall on deaf ears or the emails are never read. They're just deleted immediately. So, I mean, we've done a lot, I mean, to try, but we need fresh ideas. And that's another call, is if you have any suggestions or complaints of how we do things or any kind of feedback, let us know. If you want, I have a business card, and you can come up here right now and contact me with any ideas that you might have.
And if we need more discussions like this, open with any questions from the campus, I would be more than happy to accommodate those kinds of scheduled meetings.
About lobbying the state Congress for funds. The students recognize that we could all do a better job, but at the same time, even us collectively aren't taken as seriously as, say, Dr. Gordon and Chancellor Reed in terms of influence of the structure. Can you honestly say that you guys have all done your best job in terms of lobbying the state for more funds?
I lobby not only the state, but the federal government at the same time. I spend a lot of time in Sacramento. I spend a lot of time in Washington, D.C. lobbying, and a number of the funded projects that we have on campus actually come from both state and federal lobbying. So yes, I can say that we spend as much time as possible lobbying both in the state and both with our federal legislators. And several of our federal legislators, Congressman Ed Royce and Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, have brought this campus a lot of money through the federal legislation.
To answer your question on if you think we did a good job lobbying, to be honest, we didn't, because there were maybe 300 students there out of 450,000 from the CSU. That's why I'm saying we all need to get on board with this, because if it's only 300 of us saying, oh, yay, go CSU, it's not going to resonate at all. We need to have a crowd like this around the Capitol building, maybe double, maybe triple. I mean, if we want to get some kind of campaign to bring students up to Sacramento with us. That would be cool too, if we all just wanted a caravan up there and be there together and say, hey, you know what, we're all here for higher ed, then that's what we need to do. But we need more students. I mean, there's power in numbers. I think we can all agree to that. And if we all decide or whatever to go up to Sacramento during that time when we all lobby, we're not going to be able to be ignored because there's going to be a ton of us crawling around Sacramento that day.
I want to comment on that also. In a prior life, I was a lobbyist for 10 years at the state and federal level. The legislators and the Congress people, they expect to see Chancellor Reed. They expect to see President Gordon. They expect to see administrators. They deal with it all the time. When the students show up in numbers, that's unexpected. That's, as she's saying, you know, making it clear that there's a big issue out here. And so there's a lot of power in the students. And if you go up there, that's the thing that's different, and that would, I think, have a greater effect. President Gordon and the others are very effective, but they're up there all the time. You guys, the more you're up there in larger numbers, you can have a great impact.
And as far as numbers go, if you want to be a part of something that's going to be huge, October 24th at the Cal Berkeley campus, there's going to be a student demonstration from students from both the UC, the CSU, and community college students. Last month they did something similar and they had 5,000 students show up. They're publicizing this one even more, so should be even bigger. But that's something you can do in a few weeks. Julie and I both plan on going, just as students. I know we've heard other students that want to go too.
A lot of students would like to know why the library closes earlier than the gym, than the rec center.
Well, the library, to meet their budget cuts imposed on them, cut back on books, book purchases in a drastic way, and they also had to cut back on library hours. The gym, I'll let Dr. Palmer speak to that, but that's funded through ASI, so their hours would be different.
Simple answer is a different funding source.
Dr. Palmer, I think when they were discussing the gym hours and library hours, you said there's different sources of funding. Why don't you change the sources of funding? Keep the library open and close the gym. You have the power to do it, then do it, get it done. This is a school. The library should be open and the gym should be closed. It's an affront to education.
I would be very happy to discuss that with you further. However, what you're proposing, I don't believe you really want to happen. I think it's absolutely important for students to have a role in the nature of quality of their experiences on campus. The beauty of the arrangement we have in American higher education is students have an opportunity to raise their own fees, create their own programs and their own activities. The rec center did not come about because of an initiative from the administration, but because of an initiative from students. This is something they wanted and were willing to pay for. Now, the issue of library, absolutely our responsibility as administration, and I think you should raise issues about that. There has been a discussion on that with Vice President Smith. I think there were some additional hours added, but I would be the last to agree with you that I should in any way intrude upon the nature of experiences and programs that the students decide that they want to have for themselves.
All right, well, I would like to thank President Gordon, Vice President Smith, Vice President Hagan, Vice President Palmer, and Julie and Joe for coming out for Pizza with the President.
Did you have another question? Please, come back to the mic. No, the young man, come back to the mic and ask the question.
So if the students rise up and tell you, we want the library open and the gym closed, would you guys do that?
If the monies are differently distributed, and so...
Change it. It's a school. Change it.
Would you stop shouting and allow me to answer the question? Okay? You asked the question. We can't necessarily change funding categories. If we could do that, the students would always want to be able to speak to their needs. You're speaking to one need, but we have 36,000 students here. And so our responsibility is to listen to all of their needs. And that's what we try and respond to.